Silent dementia. 10 signs that appear without you noticing. Have you ever thought that the most dangerous signs of a condition might be the ones that go unnoticed? Dementia often creeps in silently, disguised as everyday behaviors that seem harmless. Forgetting where you left your keys or a sudden mood change might appear trivial, but they could be early warnings of something much bigger. Imagine realizing that these small lapses are actually symptoms of a problem that could have been addressed early on. What makes it even more alarming is that these signs don't come with clear warnings. They hide in plain sight, missing an important date or struggling to follow a conversation. And as this happens, time slips away, reducing the chances of early intervention. But what if you could spot these signs before they became irreversible? Today, we're diving into 10 subtle signs that might indicate the onset of dementia, even if you don't realize it. Get ready to uncover how seemingly harmless behaviors might be linked to profound changes in the brain. And most importantly, learn how to recognize these clues before it's too late. Number 1. Memory loss that affects daily activities. Losing your keys or forgetting where you parked may seem normal. However, when these lapses start interfering with daily tasks, it's time to pay attention. Imagine not just forgetting where you left your glasses, but also missing important appointments or forgetting how to make breakfast. These may signal more than routine forgetfulness. They could be early signs of dementia. One of the most concerning traits is repetition. People might repeatedly ask the same questions, even after receiving answers. For instance, someone might ask multiple times about the time of an appointment, even after writing it down. While reminders can help, they might become a crutch over time. Interestingly, these signs are often noticed by others first. Family, friends, or coworkers might detect unusual behavior before the person realizes it. A good practice is to jot down simple commitments and see if you can follow through without help. This could reveal subtle changes in daily functioning. It's not about isolated lapses, but the frequency and impact of these lapses that raise red flags. For instance, forgetting a birthday might seem minor, but when it leads to missing essential steps like buying a gift or organizing a dinner, it's a sign to seek medical guidance. Early diagnosis can make a world of difference. Number 2. Difficulty performing familiar tasks. We all have days when distractions make simple tasks harder, but when routine activities start feeling like puzzles, it's time to take a closer look. Early dementia signs can include struggling with activities that were once second nature. Imagine forgetting how to get to the bakery down the street or how to organize a shopping list. A classic example is driving to a familiar location and suddenly forgetting the route. This isn't just a lack of focus, but a sign of brain changes that hinder the ability to retain and access information. Temporary fixes like creating maps or clear routines might help, but seeing a specialist is crucial. The impact goes beyond navigation. People might struggle with hobbies or games they once mastered, like card games or chess. Forgetting rules or how to handle game pieces is a significant clue. Watching for signs of avoidance, like skipping tasks out of fear of making mistakes, can reveal deeper issues. These changes often lead to frustration for both the individual and their loved ones. For instance, forgetting how to cook a favorite dish or operate a simple appliance might seem like a lapse in attention, but is often the brain signaling distress. Recognizing this opens the door to understanding and addressing the problem. Number 3. Challenges in planning or problem solving. Handling everyday problems, like paying a bill or planning a meal, is something many do effortlessly. But for those with early signs of dementia, these tasks can become daunting. Imagine forgetting the steps to a recipe you've made countless times. A clear sign is difficulty managing numbers or deadlines, which can affect financial responsibilities. For example, Someone who always paid bills on time might start missing due dates or confusing amounts. While visual reminders or apps can provide temporary help, they aren't a permanent fix. Additionally, tasks that once took minutes can drag on for hours due to trouble focusing. Imagine planning a trip but getting overwhelmed by the details, like transportation schedules or hotel reservations. Such scenarios highlight the growing need for support. Though these changes may not be immediately apparent, they accumulate over time. Someone who was once highly organized might seem scattered or unmotivated. This stems from an increasing struggle with logical reasoning. Support from family and friends is vital to prevent silent isolation and ensure early intervention. Number 4. Confusion with time or place. Who hasn't asked themselves what day it is? Occasional confusion like this is natural. But for those facing early signs of dementia, losing track of time or place can become frequent and disruptive. Imagine forgetting not just the day but also where you are or how you got there. A common example is losing awareness of the seasons, dressing inappropriately for the weather, or mixing up important dates. These incidents may seem like minor distractions, but can indicate something deeper. For those noticing these changes in themselves or others, using a visual calendar or setting alarms can be a helpful, albeit temporary, way to stay organized. Spatial disorientation can also arise unexpectedly. Someone might go for a routine walk and get lost in a familiar neighborhood. This type of confusion can instill fear and insecurity, both for the individual and their loved ones. Walking with a companion or using tracking devices can provide reassurance during this early stage. These lapses in time and space carry significant emotional weight. It's common for individuals to feel frustrated or even doubtful of themselves. As this confusion grows, additional challenges, such as visual or judgment difficulties, may emerge. It's as if the brain is constantly testing its own limits. Number 5. Difficulty understanding visual images and spatial relationships. Seeing the world clearly and navigating it effortlessly is something most of us take for granted. But for someone showing early signs of dementia, even recognizing simple objects or judging distances can become difficult. Imagine looking at a reflection in the mirror and believing someone else is in the room. This difficulty with visual images and spatial relationships can impact everyday safety. People might trip over steps or misjudge the distance between the curb and the street. For such situations, improving lighting and keeping furniture out of blind spots can help. Simple adjustments to the environment can make a big difference. Reading can also be affected. Lines of text might appear jumbled, or colors might not be perceived correctly. For book or magazine lovers, this can be especially frustrating. Opting for large print books or materials with strong visual contrast can offer practical and accessible solutions to keep reading enjoyable. These visual challenges go beyond eyesight, involving the brain's ability to process what the eyes see. As these difficulties become more common, other signs, like language or memory problems, may begin to appear. It's as if the puzzle of perception is gradually losing its pieces. Number 6. New problems with spoken or written words. Holding a conversation or writing a simple note can become a real challenge for someone in the early stages of dementia. Losing track of a discussion or forgetting common words can be not only frustrating but also isolating. Imagine starting a sentence and suddenly forgetting how to finish it. A classic example is substituting object names or using vague terms, like calling a watch the thing that tells time. These slips can confuse those around the individual and cause distress for the person experiencing them. Activities like word games or reading aloud can help keep the mind active, but professional support is essential. Writing isn't immune to these changes. Someone who once enjoyed composing detailed letters or messages may start avoiding such tasks altogether. Incomplete sentences, spelling errors, or increasingly illegible handwriting are warning signs to watch for. Keeping a simple journal can provide both practice and a sense of confidence for those experiencing these challenges. Language difficulties reflect the brain's direct impact on daily life, making casual conversations and social interactions more complex. And as words begin to fail, other issues, like forgetting objects or experiencing personality changes, can emerge as new challenges waiting on the horizon. Number 7. Misplacing items and losing the ability to retrace steps. We've all forgotten where we put something, but there's a difference between a simple lapse and placing items in completely improbable locations. For those in the early stages of dementia, finding a wallet in the fridge or a remote control in the closet isn't unusual. What's even more alarming is the inability to remember how it got there. This loss of ability to retrace steps causes frustration both for the person experiencing it and for those around them. Imagine losing your car keys, searching the entire house, only to find them in a coat pocket stored in the kitchen. Strategies like designating fixed spots for items or using labels can help create some sense of order. These incidents go beyond forgetfulness, creating a cycle of anxiety and confusion. Someone might accuse others of hiding or taking their belongings when, in reality, it's the brain playing tricks. In such cases, patience and support from family members are essential to avoid conflicts and restore a sense of trust. While this behavior may seem quirky, it points to something much deeper. As items seem to vanish and logical steps to find them fade, other signs, such as impaired judgment or emotional changes, often begin to emerge, highlighting the cumulative impact of these changes on daily life. Number 8. Poor or diminished judgment. Making decisions is something we do constantly, but for someone showing signs of dementia, judgment begins to falter in critical areas. Imagine a person who was once financially cautious suddenly making excessive donations to unknown causes or splurging on unnecessary items. These behaviors can be subtle indicators of impaired judgment. The impact goes beyond finances. Decisions about personal hygiene, like forgetting to bathe or wearing inappropriate clothing for the weather, are also common. A practical tip is to create visual routines, such as daily checklists, to help remind the person of important tasks. This can provide some relief for everyday challenges. Safety becomes another area of concern. Someone might leave a pot on the stove and forget about it or open the door to strangers without hesitation. While these actions might seem like simple distractions, they reflect significant changes in brain function. Installing home safety measures, like smoke detectors or automatic locks, can be an effective preventative step. Over time, these lapses in judgment start to impact the individual's independence. Tasks once done effortlessly now require supervision. As these signs progress, social isolation and mood changes often intensify, linking these symptoms to other characteristics of dementia. Number 9. Withdrawal from work or social activities. Pulling away from activities that once brought joy can be a quiet yet significant sign of something larger. Imagine someone who loved watching their favorite team's games or organizing gatherings with friends, suddenly avoiding these situations. This withdrawal isn't just a lack of interest, it's often driven by fear of making mistakes or being judged. In the workplace, these changes can be even more noticeable. Simple tasks may begin to feel overwhelming, causing the person to isolate themselves or avoid responsibilities altogether. For instance, a colleague who once confidently led projects might now prefer to delegate everything, citing exhaustion as an excuse. This behavior may be a way of masking difficulties. Hobbies are also affected. Someone who enjoyed cooking might stop preparing their favorite dishes, unable to recall recipes or confusing the steps. Encouraging the return to simple hobbies, with patience and support, can help restore some of the lost joy, even if only temporarily. This social withdrawal has deep emotional consequences, often leading to feelings of loneliness or worthlessness. As isolation intensifies, mood changes or personality shifts begin to emerge, creating a cycle where emotional and cognitive challenges feed into each other. Next, understanding how these changes directly influence behavior. Number 10. Changes in mood and personality. Shifts in how someone behaves or responds to the world can be clear signs that something is happening. For those in the early stages of dementia, these changes often appear subtly, such as increased irritability or frequent bouts of anxiety. Imagine a calm, composed person suddenly becoming suspicious or even hostile without clear reason. These transformations go beyond ordinary mood swings. Someone may start showing fear in everyday situations, like going for a walk or answering the phone. This reflects not only difficulty understanding their surroundings, but also the cognitive changes impacting their sense of security. Establishing stable routines can help reduce this discomfort. Depression is another common change. Activities that once brought joy might be avoided, and the person may seem distant or uninterested in spending time with friends or family. In such cases, encouraging simple interactions and creating warm, welcoming environments can play a crucial role in brightening their day. These mood and behavior changes often challenge those around them. Family and friends may struggle to respond, leading to friction. Yet, these emotional shifts are just one piece of the puzzle. When combined with other signs, it becomes clear that the individual's journey demands more attention, care, and understanding than ever before.